we didn't start out knowing everything and then making a ton of money and whatever it is. I mean, we've been doing this for goodness knows how many years now. There are times when it was you work until 1-2 o'clock in the morning just so you can try and get a project finished.
If you're just money driven towards being a cabinet maker, it's not gonna work.
It can't be dollar driven.
Nope. Okay. No, it has to be passion.
Hi, I'm AJ, the host of Shake Hands, Take Names.
Cabinet making, one of the best art forms in skilled trades. And in today's episode, I've got two brothers, entrepreneurs, and master of this art form, Sam and Jim Cripps from Cripps & Sons Woodworking, talking about how networking and skilled trades help them build their business. But thank you so much for entertaining this request and being the guest on Shake Hands, Take Names. And I want to start with asking, when did the realization hit about the potential of Cripps & Sons? And who was the first one to think of this big scale idea, this innovative, cool idea?
Good question. I think, dating back to when Cripps & Sons started, so it would have been when Dad and Jim started up back in 2008. And so it's sort of the whole, the basis behind what we have is definitely a little older. That's just, sorry.
There you go. That's okay.
That one's definitely going in the video.
So going back to 2008, and then it sort of stemmed from there where Jim and I.
It's 2009, not 2000.
Yeah, 2009.
Okay.
And then so Jim and I bought the equipment and then started what we have here today in 2021.
Wow.
So it's sort of there's a good bit of background in that to get to where we are. But the whole side of the innovation part of things sort of leads itself to where we were sort of hoping to take the business. Things that we've learned through the journey of changing things up, trying to do things a little differently, what we were able to achieve, what we were hoping to sort of take the business to, in a sense. But
what's your take on that?
Yeah, so we've been doing since we've started the business. It's always been my dream to become a red seal cabinet maker, right? So I pushed through. Obviously, there we didn't have an apprenticeship program in Nova Scotia for cabinet making, right? So I had to put in the hours. So over years of putting in the hours, I finally got a chance to write the red seal or to challenge the red seal exam, right? So that's what I did. After that, I felt like the next step was for Sam and I to start the business together and take over from where Dad had taken the business to. We had grand ideas, and that was kind of a next step, really. So that's why we decided we'd start up together with a goal in mind. And
And it sounds like you haven't regretted it since.
No.
I mean, there may be some days.
There's some exhausting days.
Yeah, I can tell. And another question that I would have for following up to that is, we're based in Townamagush at the moment, right?
Yeah.
There's a stigma around rural Nova Scotia that it's hard for businesses to strive and be successful, small business to be successful in rural Nova Scotia. What would you say to that? Is that true? Have you faced that? And
I think with some markets for sure. Not going to lie, there are times where you go, I wish I could do with this material, and you've got to drive an hour and a half to get it, or
wait a week to get it.
Or shipping days where things in Halifax that they're shipped out in the morning, you get them in the afternoon, and for us could be a day, 2 days to get some material, whatever. And so sometimes there are things like that that you do have to take into consideration. But at the same time, it all comes down to the planning side of things and understanding that and having to deal with it. That there's a process that goes along with that. But there's one thing that we enjoy here is that because we've created ourselves a bit of a niche market, is that you could maybe we could place ourselves in a number of different locations and we'd still sort of have a similar clientele. We'd have rather than it being super location specific, I guess you could say. But
because we're kind of branching out throughout Nova Scotia now, so we're not just in rural Tatamagouche anymore, right? I mean, yes, we're based here, but
this is your epicenter.
yeah.
yes, for sure. Yeah,
And would you say that it has worked out in your favor since it is in Tatamagouche?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things with regards to that would be the number of other cabinet shops located centrally in other locations. And I mean, where we are, we're a fair distance away from any of our, I guess, larger competitors, you could say. And so it sort of puts us in a sort of an area that we can call ours, rather than having somebody who's got a similar size or a bigger cabinet shop that's just around the corner to compete with even.
Yeah, I guess we've got a unique situation realistically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, but we're happy in Tatamagouche. We like Tatamagouche.
Yep.
It's a small town, that small town vibe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's out to help each other out. Know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Everybody
Absolutely.
encourages each other. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get back to the questions that I had sent out. We kind of sort of covered the first one. The second one was, if a 17-year-old was listening to this and wants to enter skill trades, what's the unfiltered truth you would tell them about the pay, the grind, the progression, and how long it actually takes to become good at a skill trade?
Yeah. I mean, going back, just jumping on the last part, how long it takes to get good. I mean, we're going back to 2009. Here we are in 2025, and so it gives you a good idea of this wasn't perfected overnight. We didn't start this just 4 years ago. We've had the knowledge and the background and the information that goes along with that. And so it does take a little bit of time to get really good at something, especially within this industry. I mean, everything's always changing. There are new materials that get released every month. There's new technologies that are coming out. There's what you may incorporate within the operation. 6 months down the road, you go, oh geez, wish I'd just waited 6 months and we could have had this or done that. And so there's an evolving side of things. So getting good at that almost it takes longer again, because you're not just focusing on one system the entire time.
You got your red seal before Sam did, right?
yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you sort of dabbled a bit into that it was a bit extraneous process because there was no apprenticeship pathways before. Would you say that the apprenticeship pathway has become a bit more better since?
Oh, 100%. So actually, we've been working with Apprenticeship Nova Scotia to help boost and create the cabinet making program in Nova Scotia. So it is a lot more accessible now. I mean, we have 4 cabinet maker apprentices here now. 2 of them went through the NSCC cabinet making program, and then we took them on after their 5-week work term.
Work term, yes. Yes.
Yeah, no. So yes, it's definitely more accessible now. Whereas we had to challenge,
it was just,
right?
how many hours have you done? And here's a test. Good luck.
But you had to have the experience and the expertise through the years put into learning, trial and error, all the rest of it, because we didn't have a journeyman to teach us these things, right? So I think we've benefited from that. Having the Red Seal as a goal for us gave us the opportunity and the drive to learn all these things that you have to know, right? Which is, I think it's been beneficial, realistically. Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
But it appears to me as an art. So would you say that you're an artist? Because all this work around us, it seems nothing less than an art to me. Even though it's skilled trades, even though you have a Red Seal certification that makes you a skilled trades professional, but it doesn't. It appears to me as if it was a form of art. Would you agree to that?
I think you have to have an artistic sense. You have to be creative, right? And some of the plans that come to us from architects. Those the architects and the designers are the real artists, if you want the things that they come up with.
You could have totally took the credit on that.
Well, but taking that idea, that finished vision, or the vision that they have, and trying to break it down into components, individual components, and understand how those components have to be cut, machined, the limitations of the materials, the fasteners you have to use to get to that end product is the biggest thing that we have as experienced cabinet makers, right? We don't just come up with that idea. We take that idea, whether we come up with it or not, but we still have to break every single component down to something that can be sent to the machines to be cut, edged, sanded, sprayed, and then put together to look exactly like that that visualization from the beginning.
And you have to be passionate to be. You have to be passionate and patient to keep up.
Patience is one thing, yeah. There's some stuff that we struggle to make it work.
Yeah.
But there's always a solution. But there's hours and hours and hours and hours sometimes trying to figure out how to make this stuff work.
Do you have an example, a story for us to hear?
We've got lots.
Okay.
We've got lots.
Share one.
I mean, I think one of the coolest projects that we've just recently done was an archway that had reeded oak in the back, or there was the panel in behind,
material,
and then the front panels were then the reeded oak that went sort of shaped around it, but it involved steam bending white oak to be able to achieve the archway that wasn't made of lots of little pieces. To carry on that flow, and sort of something a little bit different that you sort of look at for hours and hours and hours and go, well, how can we make this work that doesn't look like you just tried to cut corners with things? So, where can we incorporate all of what we've learned, all of what what we want to do, cool things, and then turn that into a piece of art, a masterpiece that you can look back at the end of the day and go, yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. That was a fun, and the recessed integrated lighting and the glass shelves. So it's not just taking wood and making something out of it. It's taking all of those components, right, and putting them all together, which was the biggest challenge.
I'm hoping the 17-year-old who would be listening to this is not overwhelmed by everything that you've just described.
It does take. I mean, it does take a lot of hard work, but the it's the right word for it.
The drive,
but the pleasure you get out of it at the end of a finished job, and you look back and you go, well, that was somebody's drawing, and now we've made it an actual functioning piece of art, if you will, right? That you can be proud of, and the customer can use, right? That you get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah. Summarizing it all, you gotta be patient. You gotta have it. Now it sounds more like a science. I started with calling it an art, but now it appears to me more as a science. But
Fair enough.
you gotta be passionate, you gotta be patient, and you gotta accept the failures.
Yeah, and I mean, and jumping onto that sort of thing. We didn't start out knowing everything and then making a ton of money and or whatever it is. I mean, we've been doing this for goodness knows how many years now, and you start off, basically just trying to make it by and trying to come up with cool ideas and fun things, and there are times when it was work until 1-2 o'clock in the morning just so you can try and get a project finished, or the way that the materials worked that you really had such a time restraint that you couldn't just go home and come back the next day because it wasn't going to work if you were really going to put your whole soul and effort into that. And so there definitely is. There's some times that you wish you could go to bed, but it's
we and on that as well is the personal time, right? A lot of the things that we have learned how to do with our software, we've got loads of different types of software that we use, and different ways of building things. We didn't do that 9 to 5. Know what I mean? A lot of that was spent in our own weekends, evenings, unpaid, coming up with things that have helped us to build the experience anyway, right?
Absolutely.
So personal time is important.
Absolutely. Just putting in, if you don't have drive, and what I'm getting from your answer is if you don't have personal motivation, it's not going to take you anywhere. And I think that's the case with regardless of what career you choose.
Yep.
If there's no personal motivation, if you only work in the presence of your manager, I think you're not gonna succeed.
No, and if you're just looking for money too,
Yeah.
if you look online and journeyman cabinet makers make all this money, that's what I want to do because of the money. It's not for you.
Okay.
You need the passion. If you're just money driven towards being a cabinet maker, it's not going to work.
It can't be dollar driven.
Nope.
Okay.
No, it has to be passion.
Networking in trades is different. It's reputation, the word of mouth, and proving yourself on a job. What's the smartest connection you ever made that materially changed your business trajectory? Gosh, that was so terrible.
We had a really good chat about this, and I don't think there certainly isn't one connection that we've made that has been the only connection that we go, if we hadn't met this one person, our life would not be the same. You know, there's so many people that we've met, so many connections we've made. I mean, you guys, TCPEP, Chamber of Commerce, Invest Nova Scotia, you know, all the people that we've met throughout BDC, CBDC, everyone else throughout the industry, the cabinet makers, the stakeholders, the suppliers, and the relationships for all of those is what's, put us together. It makes it difficult when you say, well, yeah, who would you
No.
say is that? And it's it's a community thing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So much more than it is just trying to hang on to the coattails of one person. But I think that's sort of, without the collaboration of all of those. And I mean, I know there's times where, we've spoken to one person and they've gone, well, but check out this or check out that or whatever it may be. And so then, getting around and doing all that.
No, and the intent was to get the same answer out of you that I just got, because the idea is that it's not a one-time process. Right. Networking isn't a one-time process, and it's just not limited if you are in a corporate environment. It applies to any career you're going to end up taking. Yeah. And that's the answer. That's exactly what you mentioned in your answer. Yeah. I did have a thought, and then I lost the thought now.
So just on that as well. So we've always said that our success is relationship based, and our business is relationship driven. We strive to form relationships with our suppliers, with our customers, with industry partners, to the point where we're not just looking for the best price all the time. We're not just looking for the best thing that we can get out of everything. We want to have a relationship with everybody, right? And we found that having a relationship with these people and having a laugh, sharing a joke, know what I mean? It makes a huge difference in the long run. And it's been our, I mean, whenever we get together for events, we know so many different people, right? And we can just have a laugh and a chat. We may not talk business at all, right? But because we've built these relationships, it benefits us in the long run. No, hopefully it benefits those that we talk to as well, right?
Absolutely.
So,
and I mean, even like jumping on that, because we have such close relationships with some of the suppliers and stakeholders and whatever it may be. And if there's another event that we hadn't heard about, or a show, or something like that, and we're always told about it, and so we love going out, shows, networking, all this kind of stuff. And it's at those places that you meet somebody else, that you create a new connection for a new type of material or a new solution for something that in the long run is way more beneficial than not.
I just had another question pop up in my mind. I could say I'm a newcomer, and I got acquainted to this community. I moved to this community about 3.5 years ago. At one point in time, you were also a newcomer.
Yep.
And would you say that this community is brimming over with resources that anyone could leverage? And that kind of echoes with your previous answer. Regardless of the fact that wherever you were, it doesn't matter, but where you are, these people welcome you with open arms, and they do everything that they can in their power to help you get successful. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, there's lots of opportunity. When you put it that way, and I think some of it goes back to the whole passion thing again. I mean, if you move to a new community and you're passionate about wanting to be part of it and join in and have fun and meet people and create connections.
your
And
home.
yeah, like that kind of stuff. Then everyone's always willing to to step out of the box and go, hey, look, they've made a mark and they're really trying to step up and do something different. What can we do to help them as well?
So on that too, perfect example of that. When we originally took over the business, we were renting the original workshops. The property sold, and we didn't have a lot of time to move into our new location. So fortunately, we'd already bought this land with the idea that eventually we were going to build a shop on it. Within 5 weeks, we have built this entire workshop, this 3,200 square foot workshop, and we had so many people from the community jump in, give us a hand, friends, family, neighbors came to give us a hand, right? And there's that small town vibe, and these people wanted to see us succeed. Know what I mean? So we built this, and we moved in, and it moved the equipment in 5 weeks' time. It wasn't the greatest weather, the greatest time of year for building either, right? But we made it work with the
community.
With the community, right?
Absolutely. So another question that popped in my mind, would you be able to highlight one of the recent accomplishment or solving a problem with the help of your network? If you came across a recent problem, or if you recently accomplished something and one of your members in your network helped you solve that problem or helped you get to that, would you be able to highlight any accomplishment or a challenge that you solved?
Yeah, I think it's not really a challenge for us in a sense, but we're always looking for advancement. We're always looking to see what we can do to step up our game a tiny bit, ways that we can make things easier and simpler that way kind of thing. And so one of our biggest goals that we'd always sort of dreamt about was adding an addition on the back and having a flatline sprayer, having a system that was easier for the guys to finish material rather than hand spraying things all the time. And so we had all, put out a few feelers to people we'd seen a bunch of line sprayers. We'd, checked out a bunch of quotes for this, whatever it may be. And then through some of our networking and some of the people that we've met, one of our suppliers turned around and said, hey, look, there's another shop who's selling, getting rid of a machine secondhand. Like this would be a great solution for you guys. And so there's sort of an example of,
Great example.
networking, and it helped us a ton. We obviously didn't have a massive budget to be spending on this. So, not trying to cut corners, but we're trying to look for efficient ways of doing things.
And the finance, the financial side of it too, and the funding as well, that came through networking and having relationships with our
funders. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. So, there's either you could go to NSCC to get your first 2 years and then enter and work for a business if you want to be a cabinet maker, or you could do direct entry. This is going to be a tough ball for you guys. Would you, if you were looking for more employees, would you sign me on as an apprentice if need be? I don't know anything about carpentry. I don't know anything about cabinet making, but I do have a hunger to learn. So in a hypothetical world, if I got more interested in cabinet making, would you be interested in signing someone like me?
So one of the questions we always ask at an interview is, what's your passion and why cabinet making, right? And if you go, well, I'm just looking for a job and looking for some money. This is not for you, right? And we wouldn't take you on, right? If you say, look, my passion is cabinet making. I've been doing this. I like doing stuff at home. I like learning new stuff. This is really cool to me. This is what I'd like to do eventually. I'd like to be a red seal cabinet maker, whatever. Then, we'd definitely consider it. Yes, if we had the space to put somebody else, right?
So should I consider myself rejected for the interview?
Well, it depends how passionate you are about cabinet making, really.
Yeah.
On the flip side of things, like having, two of the employees that we have, 2 of our apprentices, and they both came through the NSCC program. And it's almost fun seeing them finish their schooling, come to us for their work term, and then really sort of open up their eyes a little bit and then go, well, yeah, this is this is cool. This is a little more than we thought it was going to be, but what can we do to stay? And so then it's sort of, having that background knowledge as well as the passion and drive is sort of
helps. Absolutely. So in a hypothetical scenario, if there's a 17-year-old kid who may end up seeing this podcast or may end up watching a reel in a different part of the province, and he resonates with whatever you guys were talking about in terms of your storyline, in terms of your passion, even though he doesn't have the academic learning from NSCC, but he has the hunger, the drive, and the passion to do it, would your stance to be considering him to be a part of your team? Would you consider someone like that to see, okay, well, you don't know how to do this job, but you have the hunger to learn, and if you have a great work ethic, we might consider taking you on. Is that something that?
Yeah, and I mean, it's one thing that we've always spoken about as well is, the whole idea of just being hungry to learn, and that if you're hungry to learn, you can teach somebody something. If you could have all the knowledge in the world, but not want to change with the times, or not want to, update that knowledge to use with what we're doing with the process here. And I mean, that's almost more useless to us than not having any knowledge, but having an incredible hunger to want to learn new technologies and systems. And at that point, you can teach somebody something, and they can learn off that.
You sound like a direct entry apprentice yourself, and you started your journey in cabinet making.
For sure, yeah.
So if you were to compare both options, where would you, let's take you back in time, which option would you choose at this point if you were starting your journey in cabinet making from the beginning?
I mean, that is a good question. I mean, it's a little bit different for me personally. I think I was so driven towards cabinet making. I mean, to be totally honest, driven towards furniture and stuff. I love building furniture, so you spend hours reading magazines and reading books and trying different joinery and all that stuff, right? So it's a little bit of a different case there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But there is definitely a benefit to go into NSCC and doing the cabinet making course, right? I mean, they do learn a lot of different things that I guess that we don't, because we do we have a way that we do things here.
Absolutely.
So I mean, yes, we miss some of
the
academic side of it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Because we have more of an end goal focus, right, as opposed to
an academic focus. Absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So there's definitely a benefit to the NSCC for that, and then also for I believe some of the hours towards your apprenticeship program.
Absolutely,
is
absolutely for sure.
Yeah, there is definitely a benefit to the NSCC, and if you have the drive and the passion to go to school for that trade, I mean, right then and there, it shows that
you're already semi-committed, aren't you?
Well, exactly, right. If you're going to commit to paying a tuition and going to school for something, right, that shows already that you
commitment.
Yeah, exactly,
absolutely.
Right. So
absolutely, that is a great answer. Question number 4 would be, you two built the business as brothers. It became one of your biggest advantages. What do you do differently in your relationship that strengthens your business? And what's your honest advice for anyone trying to build real, long-term, and trust-based relationships in the industry?
So, we were having a chat about that in the regard that we both do a really good job at having each other's back in a sense of, if one of us is struggling with, a certain maybe a design aspect, or, what would you do in this situation, or, not quite sure how to do this. And so we're always sort of bouncing back and forth. And so you can almost look at it in a sense of, there's a total partnership that we rely on each other for the other one to pick up your slack, in a sense of, and having that relationship strengthens the business, that we're not here by ourselves, just doing it for ourselves. We're here together, working together, creating. We both have the same end goal, the same passion to be where we want to be, the same drive to build the business, the ideas that we have for it expanding and moving forward and stuff are, it's always a collaboration of, well, what if we did this instead of this, or how can we change this process for that to be better. So it's always definitely always a fun time getting into those kind of conversations.
And the way that we've grown so dramatically in the last few years as well. I mean, we've both said that we wouldn't have been able to do this by ourselves. Know what I mean? So having two heads going this war with the same goal is a lot more beneficial than just one of it, because we wouldn't have made it this far by ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
And then, like Sam said too, like the benefit of being able to bounce ideas back and forth. I mean, there's lots of times when I'll be working on a design and say, look, what do you think of this? And then Sam will come over to the computer and go, well, I think I'd do that. Say, all right, yeah. So we throw back ideas back and forth. We brainstorm. So every job that is designed has both of our inputs in it, right? And we can both see how would we build that cabinet, what are the operations we have to do or that they have to do in the shop. So how do we design that in a certain way? You know what I mean? So there is definitely a benefit to having that partnership.
And I know the brotherhood can't be replicated. The relationship that you have with a brother cannot be replicated with any other relationship. But what would be your advice for anyone who's trying to build an authentic, good, long-term relationship? Because you've built a lot of good relationships with the community members. What would be your words of wisdom to build a good relationship?
I guess just trust. I think is the other thing. I mean,
respect.
I think, and that's maybe a way better word for it is respect. Is that a lot of suppliers, perhaps for material and things like that, we respect what they bring to the table. We're not going to stab them in the back for something cheaper or easier or whatever it is. We appreciate what they have, and so creating that the level of trust and respecting them for what they have, which then grows and solidifies that relationship better, which in turn, going back to our relationship or chat before and building a community, you sort of make that a stronger bubble.
And that goes both ways too. Like sometimes we'll have reps call us up and say, hey, I got another customer who's having this issue. You guys run into that issue? Yeah, we ran into that issue. This is what we did. All right, well, I'll let that customer know. Know what I mean? So being able to communicate, them also having the respect for us too, that we think that they might have a good idea. Know what I mean? So it's definitely beneficial for us. It's encouraging too, right? So
absolutely. So trust.
Yeah.
And it's a commodity that goes both ways. So when you go in a fresh relationship with the intent of building a good new relationship, you sort of have to be blindsided and you have to take the risk of trusting the other person unless they give you the reason not to.
Yep.
So you have to trust but verify. Would that be appropriate?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And we understand too that for our customers, they are looking for somebody to do a good job. We know kitchens and cabinets, and they're not cheap, right? So for them to trust us to give them the finished product that they have envisioned, right? I mean, it's rewarding for us to be trusted by these clients that
Absolutely.
we are going to. They're going to give us the money, and we are going to provide them with exactly what they want as well, right? So mutual trust there too, right?
Absolutely.
So, and for us too, I mean, we have the trust and respect that we're both going to put the same amount of effort into the business, right? That we are going to encourage each other. We are going to both work towards these same goals, and we're thinking future, like retirement as well, that we do everything together, and it benefits us right from
the get
day one to the very end, right? So
and I think sort of going back, like even as somebody starting up and creating just generic relationships. I mean, the employees that we have here, we all get along super awesome. Yeah. We all respect everything that they bring to the table. They respect our vision for what we're looking for as a standard, as a finished product for, how it should look, how it should feel. If it's not quite right, and if they're not happy with it, they know that we wouldn't be happy with it. And so then again, building relationships even within the organization as well is absolutely massive.
Absolutely. And what would be one piece of advice for the upcoming generation of nation builders, given the fact that there's a lot of stigma around their work ethic? I'm a Gen Z myself, and a lot of employers, a lot of businesses, when they're looking at Gen Z folks as their potential employees, they have stigma about their work ethic. They have stigma about their personality types. What's your take on that? And what would be one piece of advice if you have a similar stigma to solve that problem?
Yeah, for us, I think we've always tried to incorporate technology. Has always been one of our biggest advancements, I guess. And so we sort of welcome the computer tech savvy kind of screen looking, that kind of fun stuff. Yeah. But I think at the same time, there's a level of getting up out of your chair and being physical, especially in cabinet making.
This is a physical job.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of hard labor. You spend every hour of the day essentially on your feet, lifting things, moving things. And it's hard. I mean, it's a hard go too. If we got timelines to meet, deadlines to meet, it's go, right? And everybody works as hard as fast as humanly possible. So you got to have the drive to do that. If you're the slowest one, right? Or you're not putting the drive that everybody else in, you're not going to make it, right? So you do have to have that. You do have to have that drive. You have to have that work ethic. That even though you may be tired, you may be hurting, you may be not wanting to push yourself anymore, you absolutely have to. And if you don't, this is not the industry for you.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, lunch may not be at 12 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're just going to scare my audience away with all these comments.
But we do have Gen Z employees,
and they're great. Three of them are.
Yeah. But they have the drive and they have the passion, so they fit right in. So it's not to say that. And to be totally honest with that, we're not really looking for the elderly generation either, right? We are looking for
the young
Gen
blood,
Z
absolutely,
to take on. And it's a cool industry. It really is a cool industry. We get to do some cool stuff. We get to go some cool places. We get to I mean, we play with robots in here. You know what I mean? You can have a lot of fun, right? So
absolutely,
So we're not.
You're not against it, but there's of course caveats.
100%. Okay.
So is there any other topics that you had which were not related to the questions that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, I think there is a there is a benefit to the future of cabinet making as well, right? Cabinet making's generally been seen as a very old industry, if you will. Very traditional, but Europe and the rest of the world is not. It's not a traditional thing, right? Everybody's looking to the future, so we're trying to bring that in too with these machines and stuff we've got, with the robotics that we've got in here now, right? For the whole construction of cabinets and that, and even the software that we're using to design. We're creating our own software here at the moment for tracking cabinet parts through our shop and everything as well, right? So there's we are looking towards the future. Cabinet making is going to be here in the future, right? It's not going away anytime. We just got to keep up with the keep up with
change
the rest of
with
the
the
world.
times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not just in the materials we're using, but also the way that we're building.
Absolutely. How many red seal cabinet makers are here? Are there in Nova Scotia? Do you have any idea?
So when Sam did his test, he was number 19.
Number 19.
Yeah. And what was that? That was a year and a half ago.
That was a year and a half ago. Yeah. I did mine in 2021. I was the 13th one. And at the time, I was the youngest red seal cabinet maker in Nova Scotia. I'm assuming Sam is the youngest red seal cabinet maker. So there is people that are doing their apprenticeship. Most of the ones that we know of are elderly.
People who are just doing the test, but because they've been in the industry long enough, kind of thing.
But we're really trying to drive it towards young.
So there's huge appetite.
Oh, I think so.
And you had a lot of input in the curriculum for the apprenticeship program for cabinet making as well, right?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun working with Apprenticeship Nova Scotia to create the online portion of the cabinet.
So guys, if you don't like your course, these guys are the ones to blame. Would that be appropriate to say?
Well, a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good knowledge on there too.
There you go.
So
There you go.
That was a fun thing to put together. Just sort of thinking, and again, going back to the whole Gen Z thing about like, what would we have learned years and years and years ago that we may not use as our primary method of doing something, but is still really influential in a simple joint or however you look at a cabinet now, and how you can think about how things are built or whatever it may be. So it was really good fun.
Sometimes we still got to fall back on the chisels and the hand plates.
Absolutely. Never getting rid of them.
No, for sure. But at the same time, just figuring out what we can do with our CNC machines, with the robots, to create the same things in a faster, more efficient way, right? So but without that original knowledge of doing everything by hand, the rest of it would be useless, right?
Yeah,
realistically. So
absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for
thank you
being the guest on it. I'm sure the audience gonna enjoy the podcast. The audience gonna enjoy the bits and pieces and the juicy moments that we created. And this is a timeless gem. This is gonna be a timeless gem. And this is a good memory that you can look back onto 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now on. But thank you very much.
That's awesome. Thank you, AJ.
Appreciate it. Thanks, AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. And if you're an upcoming graduate in Colchester, Cumberland, or Pictou, and you're looking to get connected in the career that you want to get into, please reach out to me on my website, northandisconnector.ca.